Hey guys, before we start the video, I just want to say thank you guys for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. So I decided to give out some more monthly passes. So now it's looking like I'm going to give out one monthly pass for every 100 new subscribers on YouTube. So we already hit our 300 subscriber goal and we gave out the monthly pass last night on stream. So now the next goal is going to be 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and 1,000. So I'm going to end up giving a few extra monthly passes than I originally planned, but you guys seem to be really enjoying it, and I just want to give back to the community that has been supporting me since day one. And in order to qualify for these giveaways, all you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you comment because that's where I'm going to be pulling the names from for the giveaway. And without further ado, let's get into the video. Hey guys, so for today's video, we're going to be discussing the current RTA meta, more specifically turn 2 versus turn 1. So if you guys saw the thumbnail, Tiamat throws a knockout punch at Messiah, showing you that turn 2 is currently way better, way more consistent than turn 1 for sure. Okay, so to be specific, T2 or turn 2 means bruisers and healers, and T1 or turn 1 means cleave and CC and their openers like Tsukiyomi, Bayo, Lily, stuff like that. Okay, this video will be based on facts only, okay? These are facts, not opinions. But at the end, we will have some speculation on how to balance this current meta. And player mistakes will not be a talking point in this video because they are a given, right? If you draft perfectly but you make a mistake and you still lose, then you lose. You made a mistake, okay? All right, to start off, the first reason I'd like to talk about, or the first talking point I would like to talk about, is the lattice investment, right? So both turn 1 and turn 2 require a good amount of lattices, right? We can argue that they require about the same amount of lattice investment. However, the gear requirements are substantially different. Turn 2 only really needs gear sets like Bloodbath, and they don't really need the substats as much. However, turn 1 depends on both the gear sets like Swift, Fury, Harvest, stuff like that, but we also need substats like speed especially, and crit rate and crit damage. This is a fact. You cannot argue this fact, okay? A lot of my viewers who are lower ranked players, meaning diamond and below, they are forced to play turn 2 even if they want to play turn 1 because they just cannot get the speed to catch up and beat other turn 1 players, or just play turn 1 in general. Okay, this is a fact, irrefutable fact. Now the next talking point we're going to be talking about is looking through the top ranks. Okay, if we're going to look through the top ranks right now, but you can very clearly see that all the top players are playing turn 2 for the most part, right? Overwhelmingly, everybody is running turn 2. And also for the last few weeks of tournaments, all the teams that have been being played in the tournaments, okay, these are official weekly weekend tournaments with money on the line, is overwhelmingly turn 2 as well. And this is also a fact. We might have seen one or two cleave games here and there, but overwhelmingly turn 2. So what does that tell you? That very clearly turn 2 is much stronger and much more consistent, to the point where you would rather play turn 2 when there is money on the line. So that literally goes without saying. So let's take a look really quick at the top ranks. Okay, so here I am. Today is October 12th. Okay, so check the ranks. Okay, let's take a look. This is turn 2. Kecker is turn 2. I don't know who this guy is, but he is also turn 2. Turn 2, turn 2, turn 2, turn 2. Maybe has a Hoyanid, I'm not too sure. But still. This is CC and cleave. Okay, we have CC cleave here, right? Cool. All right, turn 2 with some CC, right? Like kinda, right? Okay, turn 2 definitely. Turn 2, turn 2, turn 2, turn 2, turn 2. This is a cleave. This is a nice cleave right here. Very nice. This is like CC. This is CC. Yeah. This is, I don't know what the hell this is. Some weird mix. But anyway, turn two. This looks like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what people are cooking up here with Messiah Veronica, but this is kind of like turn two. Maybe I think these Messiahs are Amber Messiahs, right? You can't really check. But look, turn two. CC. This looks like CC. CC, maybe turn one cleave, maybe cleave with Lilium. Okay, interesting. This is turn two with a Yelly, most likely a Yelly on Bloodbath. Okay, because that's one of the new builds. Okay, but very clearly. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit more. Let's scroll down a little bit more. Very clearly, you guys can see, right? Turn two dominant, like by far, by far. Look, scrolling down to 108. Turn two, turn two, turn two, turn two, turn two, turn two. I'm literally getting tired of saying turn two, but you guys can very clearly see it. Okay. So now the next talking point I want to talk about is that we need to consider the number of character options available. Okay. So for example, if I am a turn one cleave player and Messiah gets pre-banned, pretty much half of my damage and utility is gone. The other cleave options like Yelly, Rosa, Batsby, they are nowhere near as good as Messiah. Okay. However, if I'm a turn two player and Tiamat gets pre-banned, I still have very strong options to pick from, like Rahu, Holden, Kokardi, Born, and all four of them benefit from the same supports and healers. Okay. So you might say, oh, why don't as a turn one player you pivot to CC? Which I did before and I still do sometimes. And that is a very, very valid argument. It was a very valid argument until the release of Aya and Reaper steps. Literally, turn two players cannot possibly complain about CC players anymore, because CC on the first point is that CC is literally just gambling, right? So if you gamble and you win, okay, whatever, right? But because of Aya and Reaper steps, you have to land your dispels and your CC. Even if you land Plume Dispel on someone with Reaper steps, they just cut and then you're cooked. You can't do anything, right? So you have to land the Bulwark Dispel and then you have to CC on top of that. So now turn two players have an abundance of options, both with characters and shells, to deal with both cleave and CC. But CC and cleave, especially cleave, we don't have as many options as turn two. And this is also a fact, irrefutable fact. Okay, so then another argument. Why don't you just steal some units, right? Why doesn't turn one just steal turn two units? What am I going to do if I steal a healer as a turn one player? Nothing. What am I going to do if I steal a bruiser as a turn one player? Also, nothing. But turn two players get so much out of stealing turn one characters, right? That's why you see top players using Messiah on Amber and they don't have to pre-ban him. Also, just a quick note on Messiah. Messiah at the top level especially is only a threat if he is max P5 555. Just for reference, I am a low mythic player, okay, and my Messiah is only P1 415. So he does like half the damage of a P5 Messiah. Okay, just a quick note there. What else can turn two players do? They also steal Yelly and put her on Bloodbath. They have been stealing all the turn one units and been using them just fine. Not to mention stealing CC characters like Mio. Okay, right? They also have Lily, Doki, and Aya that they've been putting on Bloodbath and using for turn two as well for tempo, right? Which are the openers for turn one. Turn one gains absolutely nothing from stealing units. Okay, this is also not a concrete fact like the two previous points, but this is currently the shift in the meta, which we will see in the replays at the end of the video. Okay, so some potential solutions that I can come up with, and you guys feel free to comment below if you have some good ideas as well. Maybe the devs will listen, watch this video, figure something out. But some potential solutions that I've come up with myself, as well as talking to my chat, is that we need to buff all the cleave units so that we have more options, right? Like I said, if Messiah gets pre-banned, you're pretty much cooked. Or if Messiah gets stolen, right, you're pretty much cooked. Messiah has invincibility, ignore defense, ignore passive, all that stuff. That's why he's the #1 cleaver, and no one else comes even close to him, right? I'm also hoping that the next light unit will be a new Messiah for Cleave teams as well, because turn one, especially Cleave, needs some more options, without a doubt. Another thing I thought of is we can nerf healing quite a lot, right? So the issue is that healers heal up pretty much everything that Cleave does, which is terrible, right? So if we can mitigate the healing somehow, because the healers are gonna cut, right? They're on Lighthouse, they're on Reaper, they're on Gigabyte, they're gonna cut, so they're gonna heal. So you can't nuke them in 1 or 2 turns, right? So we got to nerf the healing. That way, if we bring 2 cleavers, like a Yeli and a Masai or something like that, we can still nuke them even if they heal, okay? We can also nerf Bloodbath a little bit. I know all the turn 2 players are going to play, no, Bloodbath is perfect. No, it's not. Revelation got a 30% nerf a while ago. So Bloodbath, to be fair, I don't know what the numbers are, but you got to at least nerf that by like 15%. It's maybe not 30, maybe 15, maybe 20, maybe even 10, but very clearly I think Bloodbath is a little too strong. And then another solution is probably new shells, right? We just got new shells, so we probably won't get new shells in a while, but this is definitely in the future. Something like ignore defense as well as applying wound, right? So that we can deal more damage to the bruisers and then also maybe prevent them from healing back as much or at all. Right, that's the only way I can. These are some of the solutions that I came up with my chat as well. So here are some games for reference. I'm not going to be talking over them, but I will label them, and you guys can watch and you can see how the current meta is looking like. And let's jump right into them.
この程度か。破れるとは。
受け取るがいいわ。私からの贈り物よ。
裁きを受けるがいい。の時だ。よっくそ。
違反行為はすべて取り締まる。
はっ。くたばれ。
やめなさい。
この手。
一瞬で終わらせてあげる。やるじゃないか。罰からは逃げられないわよ。そこのあんた邪魔だ。面白いね。油断は禁物ね。
私がみんなを守る。この調子で。みんなの願いを一つに。見てな。あれ耳を澄まして、あなたたちへの贈り物だよ。やあ、これが大抵の力だ。ピテオさんと一緒なら。
はっ
ちゃらさ、見てな。あれ少しは。
Alright guys, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe. And if you're stuck on Ember Trek Hard, check out this video here.